Be ready. 5 seconds. Start. I have fought the leaders of India for a generation. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar told the American writer James McKenna in an interview in 1952. Many of them hate me, and I despise some of them, he added bitterly. How did he then get into the Congress dominated Constituent Assembly and become the chairman of its drafting committee? The story can be categorized into two phases. In the first phase, lasting till around the end of 1946, Ambedkar was a sworn enemy of the Congress. But despite the party's opposition, he got elected to the Constituent Assembly from the Bengal Provincial Assembly due to efforts of the scheduled caste leader Jogendranath Mandal, who secured support for him from the Muslim League and some Congress scheduled caste members. Ambedkar attended the first session of the Constituent Assembly held from December 9 to 23, 1947, and in his first speech made a stirring plea for national unity. Congressman N.V. Gadgil recalled that the speech was greeted with a tremendous ovation. Soon thereafter, Ambedkar was elected to the Advisory Committee of the Constituent Assembly. Following the partition of India, he lost his seat in the Constituent Assembly. The seat he had been elected from was allotted to East Bengal, and Mandal too joined erstwhile East Pakistan, but the Congress was keen to have him back. Vallabhbhai Patel told G.V. Mavlankar, the President and Speaker of the Central Legislative Assembly, that Ambedkar's attitude had changed. A vacancy in the Constituent Assembly had to be filled from the Bombay Assembly, and Patel asked B.G. Kher, then the Chief Minister of Bombay, to arrange for Ambedkar's re-election. President Rajendra Prasad also wrote to Kher saying that apart from any other consideration, the Congress had found Dr. Ambedkar's work to be of such an order as to require that we should not be deprived of his services. With the Congress backing, Ambedkar re-entered the Constituent Assembly as a member from Bombay at the start of the Assembly's fourth session, July 14 to 31, 1947. He was one of 30 odd non-Congress members elected to the CA. Around the end of July 1947, Jawaharlal Nehru invited Ambedkar to join the interim Union Ministry that was to come into force on August 15, 1947. A few other non-congressmen, including Syama Prasad Mukherjee, who founded the Jansangh, were also invited. Ambedkar's entry into the Constituent Assembly and the Nehru Ministry thus appears to have been related to the Congress's effort to give legitimacy to the process of establishing a constitutional framework for free India. The concern for legitimacy would have been accentuated by the fact that the Constituent Assembly was not formed on the basis of universal adult franchise because it was based on the elections in 1946. The bulk of the peasantry and people without minimum educational qualifications could not vote in the elections of 1946. Among the scheduled castes, less than 10% enjoyed the right to vote in the Madras province. In the United Provinces, this number stood at 2.5%. This thrust for legitimacy and representativeness was important for a young republic, and Ambedkar was one of its beacons. This is what may have prompted then Viceroy Louis Mountbatten to back Ambedkar's candidacy. In his earlier stint in New Delhi as the Supreme Commander of the Allied Forces in Southeast Asia during World War II, he came to know of Ambedkar as a brave fighter. In July 1947, Mountbatten told Nehru that unless a really sound cabinet in which young, talented, and keen members predominated was formed, a great opportunity of gripping the imagination of the countries would be lost. According to Mountbatten, Nehru scrapped an unimaginative list of cabinet ministers made by his colleagues and prepared a new list with Patel's backing. Mountbatten perhaps did not have a role in finalizing the list, but when he saw Ambedkar's name, he felt great satisfaction. He told Secretary of State William Harry on August 9, 1947, Ambedkar had his reasons to join Nehru's ministry, which he explained in a letter to the Prime Minister in April 1948. He told Nehru that he did not believe in opposition for the sake of opposition and accepted the Congress's offer as he could serve the interests of the scheduled castes better from within the government. However, as the tremendous work he put in as chairman of the drafting committee shows, his concern was not limited to scheduled castes. Keeping aside ideological differences, he contributed to the construction of the edifice of what he called a political democracy in India. Liberal democratic in essence, that edifice showed little trace of Gandhi's theocratic philosophy. On that score, despite their many differences, Ambedkar and Nehru spoke the same language.